Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Advance, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, we got a serious show here for you guys. Before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. And be sure to follow me on Instagram. My handle is CTABANZ. Make sure you follow me there. Anyway, let's get into this topic here. So, Stephen A. Smith recently made headlines, right? Because he was videoed during the game before the NBA Finals, playing solitaire on his phone during live game action, right? There's a picture of it and there's a video of it. Even Kevin Durant posted it. We did a show about it, right? But in typical Stephen A. Smith fashion, instead of him just owning up to the situation and just saying, hey guys, you got me, he didn't do that. Instead, he started flailing back and going back at people for calling him out when we have the video evidence of him playing solitaire while the cameras panned the guy with the camera panned up to show that the game live action was going on. And first thing he said was, what's the big deal about it? What's the big deal about it? Well, it seems like one person is fed up with Stephen A. Smith. As a matter of fact, yesterday we just produced a show of Nick Wright going as Stephen A. Smith, making fun of this very situation. But also we played a clip of Nick Wright calling out Stephen A. Smith a few months ago over the comments that he made about Bronny James. Where am I going with this? So this morning I was just going through the internet looking for what to talk about, and I came across an article from Awful Announcing with the following headline saying, Nick Wright accusing Stephen A. Smith of lying over awful response to 2 recent incidents. And I'm like, oh, this sounds like it'll be great. So let's talk about it. But before we even get into what this report had to say, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Prize Picks. Prize Picks is America's #1 daily fantasy sports with over 10 million members. Prize Picks makes it easy to get real money action on the sports and players you love. You pick more or less on at least 2 for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. For example, this week on Prize Picks, I'm looking at the upcoming NBA schedule and selecting Stephen Curry for more than 29 points and Kevin Durant for more than 27 points and Anthony Davis for more than 12 rebounds and Luka Doncic for more than 8 assists. If you're like me and you like to play safe, you'll love Prize Picks' new feature, Flex Plays. It's the safest way to play. You can still cash out even if your lineup isn't perfect. Plus, you can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. On top of this, Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money as quick as in 15 minutes. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks to get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. Okay, so let's get into what this report says. It said Nick Wright teased Stephen A. Smith over his solitaire playing during Game 4 of the NBA Finals on Monday's episode of First Things First, but the FS1 host took a more serious tack Tuesday morning on his podcast, What's Right. In a lengthy segment intended to hold Smith accountable, the FS1 host took issue with the 2 comments from Smith. One was a personal response to a fan at Gamebridge, a field house, who caught him playing the solitaire during the game. The other was Smith's disconcerting response to the U.S. Senate Alex Padilla storming a press conference over the Trump administration deportation raid. Wright accused Smith of latching onto false right-wing talking points on Padilla's arrest, while arguing that in the case of his silly solitaire controversy, Smith outright lied. Taken in total, Wright said, they reveal a troubling trend for Smith, just as he is gaining influence outside the sports world. On the topic of Padilla, the FS1 host detailed the blatant lying from the administration and conservative media, who accused Padilla of not identifying himself and lunged at Homeland Security Kristi Noem. Video of the confrontation told a far more a peaceful story, but Smith went along with the administration's version. Wright believes Smith and his pals on the right knew none of that was true, but they said it anyway. It was fiction that they felt they could get away with because either people are numb to it or in an effort to both sides everything, folks will justify it. So when I saw when I then saw a guy who I've always respected, a guy who I've always liked, a guy who I've always had a good relationship with, Stephen A., use his massive platform to essentially kiss the ass of people who are lying about what happened to Senator Padilla, didn't care that they were lying about it, and abandoned any obligation, in my eyes, to truth or fairness in just a relentless pursuit of a bigger and bigger tent and larger audience and more eyeballs. I found it just awful. Then continues on. Wright saw the proceedings as an example of Smith taking up the right wing's habit of shameless lying. They know they're going to be called liars. They don't care because there is no damage right now to being a liar, Wright said. And they just want to muddy the waters enough that people can then claim there's a disagreement or debate or confusion about what happened. Such confusion is exactly what happened when Smith was caught playing solitaire during a game he is paid millions to cover for ESPN. Wright acknowledged the solitaire situation was silly, then says, "My issue is with the response," Wright said, "because the response was so instantaneous and easily disprovable as a lie. It was during a timeout, knowing he's a very smart guy and that if someone took a picture, someone might have a video. If they have a video, the court might be in it, or sound might be on it. Or in the picture, everyone in front of me is standing. So the response is just lie. Who cares? And then when the video comes out and it's you clearly lied, turn it into your own joke and meme and move on." Then the article goes on to say a few other things. Look, let me address what Nick Wright had to say about Stephen A. Smith for his political points. I have stated this relentlessly on my channel. I am shocked that anybody anywhere takes anything seriously that comes out of Stephen A. Smith's mouth as it pertains to his political views. I am shocked that people actually give 2 cents, a cent even, to any political thought that Stephen A. Smith has. I'm stunned by it. Why am I saying it? Why am I saying it? Because I believe Stephen A. Smith is a flat-out grifter. I believe that he is a Democrat masquerading as a Republican or conservative because they're the only ones that are going to give him a platform to spew out his ridiculous talking points. That's what I believe. They're willing to give him an audience, so therefore he's going to say things that they want to hear because they're giving him a platform. This is what I truly believe, number one. Number two, the second reason I believe that he has these conservative views is because they're in vogue. They're in vogue. Whatever side's winning, that's the position he's going to take. If you look at Stephen A. Smith historically, he's always been on the left. But now all of a sudden, he has all of these right-wing views. And my thing is this: if you're a Democrat, so bloody be it. If you're a Republican, so bloody be it. But what I don't like are people that are trying to play both sides of the fence. And the irony in all of this, there's a large contingency of Republicans or conservatives that don't believe he is on the right ring. And there's a large contingency of people on the left that believe that this guy is making a fool out of himself, because we know where you really stand on these issues. That is the problem. That's the problem. Stephen A. Smith, every time something happens, he can tell you why everything is wrong about the Democratic Party. But then I'm a centrist. It don't work like that. You can't be a centrist that's always targeting one side. That's not a centrist, bro. That's somebody grifting along the table. And people take him seriously, which is astounding to me. It is astounding to me. I've heard Stephen A. Smith sit on the panel and say, I am not qualified to talk about any of these issues. And then guess what? Start talking. And then people sit down and be like, oh man, he said something interesting because he can talk fast and regurgitate current events. Yes, he can talk fast and tell you what just occurred. Yes, he can do that. But what is his point of view on anything? On anything of substance? He has no point of view on any of these subjects. He'll say, I think the Republicans did this bad. But then the Democrats, bro, what is this? And do you know why it's a big joke? If Stephen A. Smith decides to run for president, what party are you going to run for? You going to run as independent? When was the last time an independent won the White House? There are only two major parties in the United States, Democrats and Republicans. So which party are you going to run for? Nobody knows. So what party are you going to run for? You don't want to identify as a Republican. You trash the Democrats, but you're going to run as a Democrat? I'm confused. So when you run as a Democrat, what? People on the left are supposed to vote for you? A guy that trashes their party? I am confused. I'm confused. But then people want to act like this guy is saying something. It is a joke, a huge joke, a massive joke. The joke of the week, joke of the month, joke of the year. So Nick Wright is talking about his inconsistencies, his incongruities in the things that he does. In terms of him lying about, that's Stephen A. Smith, business as usual. And if you call him out on it, he's going to threaten you on TV. That's what he's going to do. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section. We catch you on the next show and I'm out. Peace.